Let's meet someone who dreams big every day. I'm Kate Save. The Inspired CEO starts now. Welcome to The Inspired CEO, where each episode we explore the innovative wellness practices that are driving success and longevity in the modern business world. Kristina Karlsson is the founder of Kikki.K and Dream Life and the author of Your Dream Life Starts Here. Passionate about helping others unlock their potential, Kristina inspires millions through her resources and motivational tools. Her journey began in a small Swedish town, leading her to build an internationally recognised brand. As a Dream Life coach, she advocates for personal growth, empowering people to live with purpose and intention. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Me too. I must say, I absolutely love Your Dream Life Starts Now, and it's the book that I travel with. Whenever I'm sitting on a plane, it gives me so much to do. My top 100 things, I'm only at about 33, I think.
Thank you so much. It's been a great tool for so many people who wants to create their dream life. So we have sold over 100,000 copies now, which is amazing. So fun. So thank you for that feedback.
Well, take me back to your childhood. So you didn't grow up here in Australia?
No, I grew up in Sweden on a farm, and I never got to travel. So I had a dream to travel the world after school, and then I did that, and that's how I met my partner in a ski resort in Austria, and that is how I came to Australia.
Wow. And so as the story goes, you wake up in the middle of the night, you can't get back to sleep, and what happens next?
So I was really lost and not sure what to do with my life. I was whinging and complaining quite a bit. So I woke my partner up and I said, what am I going to do with my life? And he was a bit over hearing that. So he said, why don't we write down what is important to you? So I had a few dreams on paper that night. And in the morning, I looked at that and I thought one of them was to start my own business. And that's kind of how my journey started, creating a global brand.
I love that what you wrote down wasn't just the problems to get out of your head or goals or something like that. It was actually dreams. So where did the dreaming come from?
I think a lot of us are really good at setting goals because that means that you look at where you are today and then you want to move forward. But when you dream, you actually remove yourself from your everyday life and you think, what would I do if I could do anything? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? A lot of us are scared of failing. So what would we actually like our dream life to be? And when you dream, there is no limits. Versus goal setting is very much like often kind of realistic, even though you can stretch yourself. But so many of us are influenced by our parents, our teachers, even social media today. So it's a really good way of kind of just forget about your current life and then start thinking, if I could do anything in life, if I could do anything without failing, because we're scared of that. Money and time often stops us as well, and energy and health. But what if that was amazing and everything was perfect lined up? What kind of life would you like to create? And that is why I'm so passionate about dreaming and then setting goals and obviously planning as well. But the dreaming is the starting point, which is so fun.
And without the dreaming, you couldn't have started Kikki.K because there's no way that night you were laying there thinking, this is going to be a globally recognised international brand. So how did that journey come about?
So because one of my dreams was to start a business, I actually started with, and this is a really good one I actually want to say before, is you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. It's a Zig Ziglar quote, really great one to remember, because often we look at our big dreams and you kind of don't stop because you don't know where to start. So for me, it was really just about looking at that dream, thinking, where do I start with this? Not knowing what that business was going to be. I just wanted to have a business. And because that to me was freedom and creativity and potential to do whatever I want to do, but I didn't know what that was. And this is a really good message for anyone listening or watching, that you don't actually have to know the whole journey. You just have to start somewhere, and that's what dreaming comes in so well. But what I did was I went out to buy some products for my home office, because I thought if I'm going to have a business, I have to have a beautiful home office. And because environment for me is really important, and I just couldn't find anything back then. This is a long time ago now. Yeah. There was just nothing around. It was just, in my opinion, badly designed and boring, and a surprise-driven category. Yeah. So I didn't get depressed. That's not the right word, but I got like, this is so boring. And then I got really excited. So I rushed home to Paul and I said, I'm going to start a retail brand, and I'm going to specialize in Swedish design and stationery. And that's how Kikki.K was born. Obviously, a much longer story around that, but that's kind of a short version of it.
That's incredible, and it just came from you going to look to buy stationery one day, and nothing really inspired you.
Yeah, and I think most of us entrepreneurs, we see a problem and then we find the solution for that problem, as you can relate to as well.
And so your Swedish design, tell me a little bit more about that. How is that unique?
I'm Swedish, so it kind of comes very naturally to me, but it's very much a look and an aesthetic that can fit into any home and to any kind of taste. And it was all about Swedish design to start with, but as I evolved, and I'm no longer part of Kikki.K, I now have a new brand, but it all evolved from kind of design much more into content as I was growing myself, and I now have a book club, and I coach, and I do all these amazing things, but it didn't start that way. And this is another really good message, I think, for your listeners, is that it doesn't happen overnight, and things just evolve. And as you grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, you can then create things that is relevant for that time.
I think that's a really important message too, that what you start with isn't what you're going to end with, and evolving it is probably why the brand was around and so long and so successful.
Yeah, reinvention really the whole time is absolutely important for all our brands.
And you obviously had some challenging times going through business like everyone, but what was one of those pivotal moments where you thought, I don't know if I can keep going with this?
Yeah, so it's a bit of a long story, but to make it quite short, we were about to sell the business, but I was going to remain, me and Paul were going to remain a small shareholder. So we did the deal, we signed the term sheet, and it was just really behind the scenes, all the due diligence to be done as an entrepreneur. That took way too long, but that's what it was. And I was quite excited about that, because that was a manufacturer in China, and they had all the things that we didn't have. So I was quite excited about that, and we were going to continue as we were. And just before COVID, I was in Germany, and one of the team members from this new business said, I'm really worried about this virus. And I've been around for a long time, so I was like, let's just get some multivitamins and let's get on with the deal. And then that was COVID. And that meant that they withdrew the deal. And to make a very long story short, basically the private equity who was controlling our business at the time, they were waiting to sell the business, not investing more. So they put us into administration, which was the sad, as an entrepreneur, I'm sure you can relate, that was the saddest day of my life. And that was a really challenging time. But saying that, we got a second opportunity to go in with a new business in the US in the middle of COVID, and then they gave up because of COVID here. It was such a disaster, and so they pulled out as well, which meant that they put us into a second administration. And after that, I was like, I am so done, because I'm an entrepreneur. I've done it once, I can do it again. So I just decided to start again. And and it wasn't an easy path, obviously it never is, but I think I dealt with that really well because of all the personal growth that I've been doing for so long. And I have really utilized that, and that is now why I'm doing so much speaking, because a lot of people speak about their success stories. I'm doing that as well, but I also speak about the downfall and then how I cope with that, the resilience behind that. And I think as entrepreneurs, we if we've done it once, we can do it twice, we can do it multiple times. And I think so many people are scared, that was me included, to fail. And that is why I like to talk about it, because now in my new business, I love my new business more than I love my first business, which didn't seem even possible when I was in the middle of my first business. And now I'm back to that kind of entrepreneurial stage and, startup, and I absolutely love it. And I do a lot of speaking and a lot of workshops and coaching, and I've started a new stationery brand called Dream Life, because my dream is to inspire 101 million people to write down 3 dreams and chase them, because that changed my life completely. And if I can inspire other people to do the same, I think hopefully we can create a better world.
You gave me tingles just saying that. 101 million people and write down 3 dreams each.
So. And it's not really about the number. I'm a big dreamer, because when you dream big, you actually look outside of your current possibilities and realities. And I think if I was just to put a small number, it would be business as usual. But when you dream really big, it's out of your comfort zone, and you have to really get out there to see if you can make it happen. And that is when the growth is. That's where all the excitement happens, because comfort zone is, it's comfortable, but it's not where the growth happens. So that's why everything that I do is really big. And I'm really kind to myself. So if I don't reach it, I don't really care, because it's about just thinking outside the square, going where I would never have gone if I was just dreaming in a normal way.
I think that is so empowering to people that are struggling in their businesses now too, that keep throwing their hat in the ring, keep trying and burning out. And like you said, the grass was greener. It just took a couple of years to really sit with yourself and I guess do that personal growth and do the work to get back there.
Absolutely.
So, very empowering. So tell me about how you look after your health. And resilience obviously comes from foundations within. And how do you look after your health?
Yeah, so there's a few things that I do, but I want to say that I do them in good times and bad times. And I think a lot of us know what to do in good times, but we don't do it because we're often too busy, and we prioritize work. But if we can look after our health as number one, if that is a foundation, when you go through a really challenging time, and you don't have to lose a business for that. It could be, depression, divorce, someone pass away. Like, it could be there's so many challenges that obviously is happening right now in the world as well.
Absolutely.
So it's for me, it's about having that foundation that I look after myself regardless of what I'm doing and what I'm going through. So for me, it is about health and well-being. So I have always eaten really well, and I've always moved, and I've always done meditation. I always journal. I think if I had to choose one that got me through the hardest of time, and also there's probably 2 things actually that really is absolutely key for me to keep sane and not getting burnt out, because I never actually got burnt out because I was always looking after myself. And if I got really close to feeling out of control and not feeling that I can keep that pace, this is always what I went back to. So I journal every day, and I don't know how many times I've been interviewed by journalists about work-life balance, because I also raised 2 kids, and we created a global brand, which meant that I traveled a lot. So there was lots going on. So there was a lot of curiosity around me coping with it and doing it all. And I'm not a superhuman. I'm just really about having a really solid foundation. So the number one is journaling. So every morning, and when I say every morning, I'm human, just like everyone else. I do miss it, but very rarely actually, because it's like something I really look forward to, and it's something that makes me feel so good. And it's actually how I create all my big ideas and thinking. So I do 3 morning pages, which is basically just emptying my head. Instead of whinging and complaining about it, I actually just write about it. And then I just throw that away. And next to me, I have a proper journal where I capture all the insights and thoughts that comes out of that. So it's a practice I've done for many, many years, and something that has been so helpful for me. And then the other thing I do is walking. And I know that most of us who have legs or are able to walk take that for granted. But walking for me, and especially during COVID, I'm an entrepreneur, so I broke all the rules. But I'm also an introvert, so I was never really a person that was risking anyone's health and well-being because I was never close to anyone because I was just walking and walking and walking. During this time, I was trying to work out what's next for me. What am I going to do? And when you walk out in nature, and I'm a morning person, so I get up early, I walk, and I still do this every single morning. When I say almost every single morning, because it just really makes me think about all the things that is relevant for me right now, the challenges that I'm going through, the opportunities that I have. We often have more, as entrepreneurs, we often have more things that we can do. So really having that space to work out what is next for me and what's important to me. So I walk for about an hour each morning. Sometimes I run, but I always finish with a walk. So journaling, walking, and then meditation. Meditation, most of us know the benefits of meditation, but as entrepreneurs, I think that is just a must practice. Even if it's just 2 minutes, 5 minutes, it does not have to be, I do it much longer, but it's because I've done it for a very long time. It really makes you think outside the square and just really makes you realize what is important and what is not important.
What do you put on while you're meditating?
So it depends on. So I'm trained in meditation, so I have a mantra. So I sometimes do it in silence. But there are amazing apps out there. One of my favorite meditation teachers is probably Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Oh, yes.
So he has some incredible long meditations. So it's probably not, if anyone watching this are starting out, it's probably not what you want to start with. You want to start with something really quite small. But I look at different things all the time, and it's really fun coming up with new ways of meditating and new techniques and new guided meditations. But most of the ones that I love the most is silence.
Incredible. Wow. Well, thank you so much. You've shared so much today, and I think anybody who views this will take away at least your 3 key things for building resilience and just staying happy and healthy. Yeah. And most of all, I think not being so hard on themselves as well. I think that's a really strong message that you absolutely.
I think we life is, even if we get to live a long life is short. So for me, it's about enjoying this crazy journey of entrepreneurship that all of us live, but it's about enjoying the times even when it's hard. So gratitude is another really amazing benefit. So I remember walking down the stairs when we just lost the business, which was really sad for not just me, but for the team and for my family, because it really was a family business. And then I walked down and said, lucky me. And everyone looked at me and they're like, what is, why would you say that? I'm like, I'm lucky to be here. Like, I'm just lucky to be healthy, alive. I still have my family, I still have my friends. And the amazing thing when you are an entrepreneur is that all the knowledge, all the experience, and all the things that you learn along the way, and the attitude and the mindset that you have can never be taken away. So you just put that into a new business. And as long as we live and learn, we can start again. And it's actually much better the second time around because I'm a little bit wiser. And also, I'm really enjoying it. And I know I want to keep it small but global. And I'm really excited about the future.
Congratulations. So thank you, Kristina. This is the Inspired CEO. We'll be right back.